Mr. Clerk, read the caption.
Senate Joint Resolution 1074, a resolution to provide for a recess in the proceedings of the 105th General Assembly.
You've heard the caption. Representative Dunn, are you on the resolution?
On the motion to suspend.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to amend that motion to include a suspension of the necessary rules in order to bring Senate Joint Resolution 127.
That's out of order. That is out of order. That's
Mr.
out of order. Cut him off. We're dealing with Senate Joint Resolution 1074. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Adopted. I'm on the list, Representative Dunn. You're on here. I've got you down. You're next on the list. You're recognized.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I have two things. One is, I guess, first, before I get to personal orders, I'd like to understand why I was out of order. I thought it's very proper to amend a motion on this floor.
I ruled it out of order.
Well, I would like to challenge that because I've been here 14
I'll take it under consideration.
Well, I think we need to act on this today.
We can act on it. I want the two leaders up here, and the two caucus chairmen and the Speaker Pro Tem. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a challenge to the ruling, and the Speaker Pro Tem will take over because I'm the one being challenged.
We are under the rule. We need everybody in your seat. Mr. Clerk, would you state the parliamentary procedure?
Madam Speaker, Speaker Nafie has ruled Mr. Dunn out of order. Mr. Dunn has challenged the ruling of the chair. The parliamentary situation would be a yes vote would sustain the ruling of the chair. A no vote would overrule the ruling of the chair. There is a challenge to the ruling of the chair. A yes vote would sustain the ruling of the chair. A no vote would overrule the ruling of the chair.
We voted on whether or not you vote to sustain the ruling or against the sustaining the ruling. All in favor vote aye when the bell rings. All opposed vote no. Let every member cast a vote when the bell rings. Has every member voted? Everybody voted. Any members out change your vote? Take the vote, Mr. Clerk.
Ayes 46, noes 47.
Leader Odom.
I'd like to make a parliamentary inquiry. As I'm kind of taken back a little bit, there was a motion made to amend. Mr. Clerk, did we have an amendment filed on the desk?
At the time the motion was made, there was no amendment in writing on the desk.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we don't make verbal amendments on the floor of the House. And that we had no amendment before us.
Okay, everybody just settle down. We're going to settle this problem.
Madam Speaker, there was a motion by Representative Odom, and I believe also to suspend the rules, to call up a resolution, a SJR out of order. That resolution was called up. There was a motion to amend that was ruled out of order. The body passed the resolution, the Senate Joint Resolution. The motion to reconsider was tabled. The resolution was sent back to the Senate. Mr. Dunn challenged the ruling of the chair. There was a challenge to the ruling of the chair. That challenge was successful. We are back on suspending the rules to a resolution that has been returned to the Senate.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. All I'm asking is to be treated fairly. and I think this body needed to be treated fairly. Before I even finished my motion, I was cut off. And I had it written down so I would read it correctly and then hand it in. And you haven't even heard my complete motion yet. I was cut off before they allowed me to do it. We just had a ruling on what we feel the rules are. And I do have, it's section 419 of Masons that says an amendment of a pending question requires only a majority vote for its adoption, even though the question may require a 2/3 or other vote greater than a majority. And so obviously it is proper, and obviously this body ruled correctly that my motion, my amendment was proper. And so right now we are in the position, since the body has spoken, we are on my amendment to the motion to suspend the rules. And my complete amendment ended up saying, in addition, suspending any rules that would send this back to a committee, such as, I think there's a Rule 72 that someone may try to use that as a way to send it someplace. So I think that's where we are right now, and I just ask to be treated fairly.
Speaker, I move we stand in recess for 15 minutes with the House Democrats meeting in the Supreme Court Library.
Without objection.
Supreme Court chamber.
All right, then we object. We voted on whether or not we're going to recess. All members in favor say aye. Vote aye when the bell rings. All opposed, vote
Ayes
no.
48, noes 43.
And we're suspending for 15 minutes. Unless we have another motion to extend this recess, we're getting ready to call this body back to order. Mr. Clerk, can you tell us at this point what posture this House is in right now?
Madam Speaker, at the time of the recess, there was a discussion going on among the House members relative to Representative Dunn's motion to amend. Just going back to the beginning of that procedure, the Senate had passed a Senate joint resolution, and that Senate joint resolution dealt with the calling of a joint convention for Monday, May 12 at 5 o'clock, 4:45, 5 o'clock, to hear an address from the governor. That matter was sent to us. I believe the record shows Mr. Odom, Leader Odom, made a motion to suspend the rules. I believe it was announced Leader Mumpower seconded that motion to suspend the rules to bring that matter before us. As is normal, we read the caption to give the body notice of what the matter was relative to. Mr. Dunn sought recognition to amend that. He was ruled out of order at that time. The body took up the Senate joint resolution, concurred in that resolution, and the motion to reconsider was placed on the table as required by our rules. Subsequent to that, there was a challenge to the ruling of the chair. That challenge was successful, 46-47, and some odd votes not voting. And so the challenge was sustained for Mr. Dunn's motion to amend relative to a resolution. I think the membership knows that was after it was concurred in by the House, and the motion to reconsider at the table was returned to the Senate. So that is the parliamentary posture we are in at this point. Is it a clear and clean posture? No, it's not, but that is the posture we are in.
Representative Dunn.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Two things. First, Rule 24, since there was some discussion about a written amendment, it says the Speaker may require any motion to be reduced to writing and placed on the desk of the clerk, and that has been done, even though I don't think there was an official, we want this in writing. And I guess if we're in the posture, then I would renew the motion on my amendment.
First, Representative Dunn, the reason you were called out of order because you had an amendment that was not in writing on the desk. You say the rules say the Speaker may. Will you listen to me for a minute? The Speaker may require. I have required for 18 years that it be in writing on the desk, and that is why I ruled you out of order.
I believe Mr. Dunn is renewing his motion to amend Representative Odom's motion to suspend the rules. It is a motion to amend, a motion to suspend.
Mr. Clerk, how many votes is it going to take?
A motion to suspend is 2/3.
Are you ready to vote? Just don't settle down. Just settle down. Let Representative Dunn have.
I'm not sure if I heard the clerk right. My understanding is, and according to the rules, Section 419 of Masons, which we're under, it just takes a majority to amend, and then once the amendment is put on, then we deal with whatever is in front of us, and then it would take the 2/3.
It takes a majority, Representative Dunn.
Okay.
Are you ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
Can we get on with a bit? Representative Mumpower and Representative Odom, then we're going to vote if that suits you, Representative Dunn. Okay. Representative Mumpower.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My only point of order at this point in time is to remind members that we are under the rule, and as I understand under the rule, that means you should be in your seat voting for yourself and yourself only, not your neighbor's desk if they were to not be present. That's all at this time. Thank you.
I move to suspend the rules in order to take up a resolution dealing with next week's schedule. At the very least, that resolution's caption would not carry the kind of an amendment that the sponsor was making. And secondly, for 22 years I've served in this House. I've had the honor to serve in this House, and I have never, not one time, ever seen any speaker accept a verbal amendment. And if we ever get to that point where verbal amendments are made on the floor of this House, we will be in utter chaos, and that's what we have. Now, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask the clerk, give me the parliamentary procedure, because I want everyone to understand this very carefully.
Mr. Speaker, there was a motion to suspend the rules by Representative Odom. The caption of the resolution was read. Representative Dunn sought recognition, and his motion was to amend Representative Odom's motion to suspend. Mr. Dunn was ruled out of order at that point. The rules were suspended. The resolution was concurred in. The motion to reconsider was put to the table. The resolution was returned to the Senate. Further recognition was sought. There was a challenge to the ruling of the chair. The body determined to sustain that challenge. I think Mr. Dunn is asking that we vote on his motion to amend the suspension of the rules. And I think that is the question the body believes it has before us, is the motion to amend the suspension of the rules.
We are voting on his amendment that he offered to amend the motion made by Leader Odom. Am I correct that this takes a simple majority and we are back? And if that, and at that point, then we will, regardless of the outcome, then we will continue back to where we were a few moments ago. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So is it, the motion is to amend a motion to suspend?
That's correct. That is correct. Representative.
And it has, so once the motion to amend passes, what's the language of the amendment? Is the motion to be able to amend, or is there an amendment?
The motion, Representative Dunn has a motion to amend on the desk at this time. We're in a parliamentary situation right now. Representative McCord.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move previous question.
That's a proper motion. Is there? We're voting whether or not, we're voting on Representative Dunn's motion. All those in favor will vote aye when the bell rings. Opposed will vote no. Every member cast their vote.
Ayes 51, noes 43.
Representative Dunn's motion has prevailed. You recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to withdraw my motion to suspend the rules.
Without objection. Representative Cassidy, Representative Mumpower. Which one of y'all? Representative Cassidy.
Mr. Speaker, there was a motion made, there was objections, there should be a vote on that motion. On the previous two motions, there should be a vote.
Are you saying that you are objecting to the maker of a motion to withdraw his motion?
That is correct.
Is that what you're doing now?
That is correct. I object to that motion to withdraw. That is correct.
Speaker, having been here 20 years, I know the rules that say if I move to adjourn this House, it takes precedence over all other motions. I move we adjourn.
That is
It takes a simple majority. It takes a simple majority. That's the rule.
That is a non-debatable motion. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put it on the board. When would you like to come back in, Mr. Chairman? What about 9 o'clock Tuesday? What about
9 o'clock on Tuesday morning. How's that?
We have a motion to recess until 9 a.m. on Tuesday. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Opposed will vote no. Every member cast their
Ayes
vote.
42, noes 51.
We are still in session. The motion fails, so now we're back on Representative Odom's motion to withdraw his motion. Representative Odom.
Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion. I withdraw my motion.
Now what's the problem? Representative Mumpower. I'm going to let you be the spokesman, Representative Mumpower, if that's all right.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Speaker.
see all kind of hands, and I know everybody didn't want to speak on this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The situation is that there is objection to Leader Odom's motion to withdraw. I think the proper procedure would be for us to have a vote on the board as to whether or not the resolution should be withdrawn.
Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Speaker, Representative moved to withdraw his motion to withdraw. There was objection to his withdrawing the motion to withdraw, and so we are on his motion to withdraw his motion to withdraw, which has been objected
And
to.
the appropriate place would be on the board, Mr. Speaker, if possible.
Are you objecting to his motion to withdraw his motion to withdraw?
I'm just noting
It puts us back in the posture you want to be in.
the objections are withdrawn. We just simply want to vote on Representative Odom's motion.
Mr. Speaker, Representative moved to withdraw his motion to withdraw. That was objected to. There has been discussion, and now Leader Mumpower indicates there is no objection, so that Leader Odom can withdraw his motion to withdraw.
Representative Mumpower.
Mr. Speaker, I admit this is indeed confusing. This is the posture that I rise to speak in. Representative Odom's original motion to withdraw this resolution had obvious vocal objection. It is our opinion the parliamentary situation should be that we vote on whether or not Representative Odom be allowed to withdraw the resolution.
We'll vote on that.
I wanted to withdraw my motion to suspend the rules so that we could move on with the business of the day. I mean, the fact of the matter is the resolution that is the subject of this debate is in the Senate. They sent a note with that resolution over here to rush this because they wanted to deal with their schedule next week. And that's exactly what the clerk and the clerk staff did. We acted on it. The resolution was moved, carried very quickly back over there. Now, I don't know what exercise we're going through here. I've never seen someone motion to withdraw, a request to withdraw the motion they made, objected to. I mean, what if I decide, what if that motion fails and then I just walk out of the chamber? I mean, this is getting really silly, and we've got a whole lot of folks here watching this process. And we're trying to follow the rules. The proponents of the resolution, which is an issue here, have the ability to call that up at the appropriate time in our agenda today. I don't understand. I don't understand the consequences. Mr. Clerk, what does it take to recall the resolution? Normally, it's the sponsor making that request. I'm not going to make that request.
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, it has been the practice of the House for the sponsor to move to recall an item from another body. Obviously, this House could break with tradition and determine to recall that. Representative Mumpower has indicated to the desk, for reasons, I'm not sure the reasons, but that is being sent back here, but I do not know that to be the case, but there has been that indication.
Representative Mumpower.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I agree with Leader Odom. All we want to do is follow the rules. Representative Odom made a motion to withdraw. Under the rules, an objection to that is permissible. If there is such an objection, the proper thing to do is have a vote. And so we're still operating under the temporary rules of this House. We haven't had a Rules Committee meeting in years. Let's just operate under the rules. I couldn't agree more. And by operating under the rules, the proper thing to do is put it on the board and let's have a vote.
Why don't you two come up here and Representative Dunn? Representative McCord, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, I have a parliamentary inquiry.
All right.
At the issue is 127. And I want to ask the clerk, I intend to vote for 127 and get this behind us. We need to move on regardless of how people vote. We're not going to move on unless we address this issue. So I want to ask the clerk, how can we get from where we are to a division of the question to suspend the rules to 127?
Here's where we are.
And the clerk has to give me, as he does, has to give that advice correctly.
And if you disagree with me, you say so. Representative Odom has a motion on the desk right now, on the floor. It's a motion to withdraw. If that prevails, then we're back on business. If that fails, then we're going to go to Representative Dunn for his motion. And it's going to be, his motion is to suspend the rules. He knows that. The leaders know that. We know it. And we're all ready to vote on these two things, if y'all are.
Speaker, I hesitate to bring this up.
Representative Cornell, we need to get on with the business.
Sir?
Go ahead.
I hesitate to bring this up, but I don't think we need to go willy-nilly down through the rule book and tear it to pieces. I have never, ever heard of a motion to suspend the rules being amended. And in the rule book, it can't be amended.
That is correct.
I believe that I'd like a ruling on whether or not a motion to amend the suspension of the rules was out of order.
Mr. Clerk.
That item was brought up. The Speaker ruled it out of order. The body determined to challenge the ruling of the chair, and the challenge to the ruling was sustained irregardless of what the rule book says, irregardless of the other factors. This body has determined to sustain the challenge.
You're correct in that it could not be amended, but I was overruled. You recognize. The rules were overruled.
Mr. Speaker, I was under the impression that you ruled that he was out of order because he did not put it in writing, because you had required it to be in writing. I'm requesting that we rule on the motion itself, not on his procedure, which was out of order, but rather I'm asking for a ruling on whether the body can amend under the rules a motion to suspend the rules.
Representative Cornell, You know, the votes have been taken. I'm trying to go by the rules. I think Representative Mumpower knows that. Representative Dunn knows that. Representative Odom.
I would,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think we're in the unfortunate situation where a successful challenge of the chair is being used to suspend our rules, and we need to somehow address that, because I mean that's a major issue. I move to withdraw my motion to suspend the rule.
All those in favor of the motion to withdraw, vote aye when the bell rings. Opposed, vote no. Every member cast their vote. This is the motion to withdraw. Every member voted. Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 45, noes 50.
The motion to withdraw fails. Now we're on Representative Dunn. Correct. We're on Representative Odom's motion to suspend the rules, and Representative Dunn has amended that. So now we're on the motion as amended to suspend the rules. Representative Dunn.
Mr. Speaker, have we adopted my amendment?
Yes.
We have adopted the amendment,
Yes.
and that is where we are.
That's correct. Representative McCord.
Mr. Speaker, I move previous question.
Proper motion, properly seconded. Is there objection? We're on the motion to suspend the rules. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Opposed will vote no. Motion to suspend the rules. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 55, noes 40.
The motion to suspend the rules fails. It takes 66 votes. Order of the day. Speaker Pro Tem, do you want to get the motion? The request is to come out from under the rule.
Mr. Speaker, we have been here all morning. We have not done anything, and I refuse to come from under the rule till we get some work done.
Representative Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given the ordeal we just went through, I would ask this chamber to stand, please, and join me in a moment of silent prayer for ourselves and the members of this chamber. I'm serious, gentlemen and ladies.
The gentleman is serious.
Amen.
We're still on personal orders. Representative Cassidy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate that, Representative Moore. I appreciate that. And this is the heartbeat of our freedom, is men who have differing opinions disagreeing. It is a good thing, and we did it with respect, and I commend your leadership, Mr. Speaker, on that. Thank you.
This was a political exercise. It has nothing to do with my character or your character. It has nothing to do with what we believe, how we worship, our religion, or any of these issues. This was a political exercise. Let's make sure that when we talk to the press, that we leave it just as that.
Chairman Fitzhugh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Am I right? The original motion was for a joint convention. I was assumed to hear the governor talk to us about our budget situation. Now, will we have to ask the governor if he would maybe do it twice?
It was not the resolution for the governor to speak to us. It was the one for us to come back on Tuesday and the Senate to come back on Wednesday. Now, if we do not get that passed, we'll have to be back here on Monday. So, are we willing to pass that, Representative Dunn? You recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would say during our discussion up there, someone did find a rule that says you cannot amend the suspension of the rules. I was going by 419, and it's there. So obviously, being aware of that rule now, I don't anticipate that there will be an amendment to the suspension now that I'm aware that that rule exists.
Thank you, Representative Dunn.